I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Going to have to wear my glasses. The chair will now entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the board business meeting of December 13th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. I want to take just a second before we get started to give the community a brief update on the progress of the board's CEO search. As most of us know, our CEO, Eric Gordon, announced in September that he would not be renewing his contract with the board when it expires at the end of this school year. And since then, the board, working closely with the mayor, have been working to put together a process for finding our next CEO. In November, we hired the search firm Almira Advisory Group to assist the board and the mayor in this search. So just last week, we launched a CEO search platform on the school district's website at clevelandmetroschools.org/CEO search. And this site contains information about the search and information on how community members can provide input into the search process. Importantly, next week, we will be holding 3 community gatherings at 3 separate locations. Tuesday, January 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. at East Professional Center. Wednesday, January 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Max S. Hayes High School. And then Thursday, January 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. at John F. Kennedy High School. And then also this Thursday, we will be posting a link on our website to a community survey. The survey is open to everyone, students, parents, staff, anybody in the community, where anybody who wants to can go on and provide input into the search process. And I encourage all of you who want to have input into what we need to look for in our next CEO to please go on to the link and to attend the community meetings to offer your point of view about who the next CEO should be. It's an opportunity for your voice to be heard. And so I thank you for letting me say that. It looks like we need to introduce our principal this evening. Oh, I'm sorry, assistant principal, because
There's a good reason for that.
Well, let me explain why Mr. Green's not here. His wife, they had a baby last night.
Yay!
So he did call me this morning. He says, Mr. Davila, I need you to speak on my behalf. And I said, it was a pleasure. So let me start. I want to say, first of all, bienvenidos a nuestra escuela. Mi nombre es Roberto Davila, asistente principal de la escuela de Almira. Welcome to our school. My name is Roberto Davila, assistant principal at Almira Pre-K Academy, and I would like to give a warm welcome to our CEO, Eric Gordon, and the CMSD Board of Education. I wish that I was able to welcome you in multiple languages in our school. Unfortunately, I'm only limited to 2 languages. There's an interesting fact that there are over 7,000 spoken languages in the world today. 1,514 of those have fewer than 100 individual speakers. And a little over half of the world languages are estimated to have writing systems. Elmira is fortunate to have scholars who represent various countries, cultures, and languages. We have a display of flags outside our lobbies that indicates the various countries of our students here, so please look at them when you go out. And one of our profile of a graduate of competency is social and the cross-cultural empathy. As children learn empathy skills by communicating cross-culturally with their classmates, those skills will transfer to the lives in their community. We have celebrated the various countries by having our scholars research and make presentations. We recently celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month and are planning right now to celebrate Black History Month in February. Our school-based leadership team has reviewed and reflected on the progress and growth we have made as a district and school over the past few years. Our data for the previous 2 years have shown an increase in our performance index percentage by 15.7%, an increase in our ELA proficiency by 6.3%, and in math proficiency by 2.5%. Additionally, Almira has met the student growth expectation of the 21-22 state report card, receiving a 3-star rating.
Yay.
Okay, thank you.
Done.
Because of the support that we have at Almira and from the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, we continue to grow. Currently, our work as a school and district has been featured in a series of articles written by journalists. I was hoping they were here today. Hannah Drown and Cameron Field from Cleveland.com, called Cleveland's Promises. That has been a blessing. People have called the school. We have parents and community members that have said we would like to provide lunch for all your staff for the great articles that you read. People have donated clothes, shoes, so that article has really drawn the public into our building, our school. So that's been a great plus. The series shows the readers the enormous challenges and privilege of educating children in a low economic community and what Cleveland Metropolitan School District is doing to provide positive support and resources to close the achievement gap. To conclude, during last April's board meeting at Elmira, we had the opportunity to showcase our Verizon Innovative Learning Lab, which opened on May 10th of 2022. We would like to share our progress and the impact the Verizon Lab has had on our learning community. Please welcome our Elmira Gator AIDS Tech Team. Please stand. Led by our Verizon coach, Ms. Karen Dorsey. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Elmira. There are 10 schools that already have the Verizon Innovative Learning Grant. We are part of the first 5. We are part of cohort 7. They include Elmira, Miles Park, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, which used to be Patrick Henry, Way Park, Whitney Young. Out of those 5 schools, presently we have 4 that have the 5G lab. There is 1 school that is in the process, Whitney Young is in the process of having their lab built. It should be opening, I'm hearing, probably in the next 2 to 3 months. There were some problems, surprise, supply chain. We are all, as I said, we're all getting the 5G lab. Cohort 9 includes, oops, I forgot. I'm sorry. All right, PowerPoint, bye. Cohort 9 includes Douglas MacArthur. It includes Garfield, Kenneth Clement, Euclid Park, George Washington Carver. We have a nice group of coaches. They reach out. We have our own little network there, okay? The grant was made possible through Verizon. In fact, our building, has the Innovative Learning Grant. We have us and Wade Park have the larger of the 2 labs. Whitney Young, Miles Park, and Stephanie Tubbs Jones have an immersive lab, which is a smaller, but the same concept. We have a very active tech team. If you couldn't tell, with my 22 children that are here tonight, including 2 of my 9th graders. They were very active last year. In fact, as a tech team member, I had 1 child this past year at the first esports competition, has already received $10,000 to go to college.
Oh, yay!
As a member of our tech team, they help prepare the iPads to go out. They help go ahead and sanitize, they clean them. We wipe them so that whatever the person had before on the iPad, whether it was their Clever or their Schoology or whatever. We clean them up before we hand them out. They also educate not only students, but they also educate the teachers on how to use the iPads properly. They also are the first ones, when I add a new app into our Elmira apps, they learn the app first so that they are prepared to go ahead and teach all the other students, teachers, how to use that app. So they are my first line of defense. The district now also uses us as their tech team when we have attended various events. We have gone ahead and we represent at Rock Your World. We worked with Dr. Terry Lyles and Kirsten Mihalovic to work with the STEM. We went ahead and we participated in the Tech Fest in August, both at Max Hayes and at East Professional Development Center. And we also worked the Fall Tech Fest over at Max Hayes. So, as I said, I have a strong, about 35 to 40 kids who come in, they donate their lunch period 2 to 3 times a week to go ahead and be prepared for tech and helping everybody else progress. So at this point in time, Yari?
On behalf of the tech team, I would like to welcome our 3 speakers, Brandon Soto, Joshua Colon, and Edward Soleto. Oh, and Luis Hernandez.
Welcome to Almira. My name is Brandon Soto. I'm in the 6th grade, and I've been at this school for 4 years now, and I'm a member of the Gatorades.
My name is Edward Sotelo. I'm in the 6th grade. I've been at this school for 4 years. I'm a member of the Gatorades.
My name is Luis Hernandez. I'm in 8th grade. I've been in school for 9 years, and I'm a member of the Gatorades.
The 5G lab has affected my education because now we could show off our tech skills that we had in our mind that we didn't know before.
Tech lab has also affected my learning, so I no longer have to do the traditional way of paper and pencil.
The tech lab changed my education by actually waking up in the morning and knowing there's something fun at school waiting for me.
The 5G lab was originally the music room, then it transformed to the art room. Now it is the 5G lab sponsored by Verizon.
The lab was first opened on May 10th of 2022. We also have the largest 5G lab on the west side.
We go on virtual field trips to the moon. We swim with the sharks. We enjoy using the 3D printer.
We do group projects. The scholars have opportunities that they never had before.
Our younger siblings are learning how to code that will help benefit them in the future. Some of our classmates have stronger tech skills than others. The cool thing is that they get to show off their strengths where they used to be quiet kids in the corner.
Our school is emphasizing coding across the entire school. Our tech team has about 25 scholars from grades 6 to 8th grades. The 9th graders still support and help us like family.
The Gatorades have worked the STEAM conference, both Tech Fest in August and the Fall Tech Fest for the district.
Well done. Thank you.
Now we have a special presentation from our students here. One last presentation. She has a gift bag to Eric Gordon in appreciation of all he's done. And there's a special shirt in there. Let's see what it says. Okay. Let's all say thank you for the board. Thank you. Eric. We appreciate it. Thank you. There you go.
We need you so much. I can't do anything.
Thank you, and this concludes our presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Devlin. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, fun.
Thank you so much.
And I love that you're the Gator aides. Yay. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate it. It's the best part of our meetings is always when we get to spend time with you all. So with that, I will turn the rest of the meeting over to you, Mr. Gordon.
Thank you, and thank you again, everybody. I will wear this with great pride, so thank you. Good evening, board members and members of the community. Have quite a few items today. I want to start with a couple of recognitions. And you are getting the signal, Gatorades, that you don't have to stay for the meeting. You are welcome to, but if you don't. We also didn't ask, are any family members here? Are any of your family members here?
Oh, yes, we do have one in the back.
Yay, thank you. Was it something I said? Thank you, Ms. Dorsey. So I want to just first recognize a few people. Wanted to again recognize Kevin Stockdale, our new CFO. Welcome aboard officially. We're very excited to have you join the team here in Cleveland. And also wanted to recognize and thank Nathaniel Mortimer, who has served as our interim CFO since Derek Ritchie departed last fall. And I asked Mr. Mortimer to stay long enough that we could thank him. You got to stand up.
Yay, thank you.
I asked him to stay so we could thank him. I also committed that he didn't have to stay for a meeting that he does not have to gavel, so that he can go enjoy with his wife this evening. But thank you, sir, for all of your support.
We hope to see you around. Thank you, Nathan.
I also want to recognize, oh, he is still here. We are really fortunate today to have one of our educators for another 2 days before our councilman-elect of Ward 11, the ward we're here in, becomes councilman of Ward 11 on Thursday. And so I want to recognize Danny Kelly, the new councilman-elect of Ward 11.
Check? What check?
And then finally, in recognitions, I want to recognize that January is National School Board Appreciation Month, and so at your seats this evening, each board member has a small token of our appreciation on behalf of the district, and also a signed certificate thanking you for your service on behalf of the district. And just reflecting again on the difficult start of this meeting with the loss of one of our young people, it is also just a critical reminder of the important role you play every day to make sure that we are finding education as a path out of these circumstances that so many of our community find themselves in. So I wanted to recognize the board. This is just the beginning. We always use this first one as a teaser, and then we want to come back at the business meeting and take a little bit more care of you. We also treated the board this evening to a little bit of a more substantial meal than the box that they usually get. And so thank you to each of you for your service. To Cleveland's kids, and Mr. Hurd and Dr. Thomas, your role on Ohio School Board Association, Mr. Hurd's role on COSBA, the collaborative of state school board organizations. There's just a really large footprint. Denise Link on representing the Council of the Great City Schools. This board really has an outsized impact, and so just wanted to take a moment to share how personally grateful I am and how grateful I know our community is as well. So can we thank the board for their service today? For this evening, I'm going to invite Dr. Lee Buddy, our Chief Engagement Officer, to the podium. He and his colleague, Chief Curtis Timmons, have been leading the way on a project to really revamp the district's school website. That actually launched on Saturday the 7th, and so I've asked Dr. Buddy, Mr. Curtis is actually out ill today, but I've asked Dr. Buddy to take you through just a brief presentation of what we've done, why we've done it, where we are in the process, and then to briefly give you some highlights of the new site live. I would also encourage those of you who are interested to take your mobile device, because one of the enhancements, just to spoiler alert, one of the enhancements is a much improved mobile experience for our community as well. So as Dr. Buddy's sharing this, you may also want to poke around on your phone and see how much improved it is compared to the old site. Dr. Buddy, I'll turn it to you.
Thank you, CEO Gordon. So board members, I provided a copy of the presentation in your media packet. Definitely will do some highlights, and then we're going to give you some time to visit the site. So provided you with an executive summary of just some of the work that the team did. So part of the work was we had different focus groups made up of teachers, support staff, really members from each division. So we met with them really almost a year ago just to get some feedback on the current website, and met with them throughout the process just to hear from them directly. And parents, what are some things? So to Mr. Gordon's point, one of the feedback that we heard really loud and clear from our parents was a lot of our parents used their phone to get on the website. In our previous website, the experience on the mobile was just really, really bad. It was really a poor experience. It was hard for them to navigate, for them to find things. So one of the things that we went into, and this is really the first phase, Blackboard just got bought out by Final Site, so a lot of the different integrations and smart tools that we'll have really towards end of April, they're still working through the integration. So if we look at the next slide, the key findings, this was some of the information that we got from our focus groups. Really just they wanted a better user experience on mobile devices. They wanted just better organized site so that they could find information more closely and broken down by users. So if we keep flipping on to the next page, this was our old website. So as you see, we had different tiles towards the middle of the page that we would update with key information. In the top right corner, we did have a staff, parent, and student tab. If we go on to the next slide. So this is our phased release that just, as Mr. Gordon said, we just released on Saturday. So to the feedback that we heard from our focus groups, we now have on the middle, we call that our smart tab. We're on different pages. At the top, you can click there and you can get back to those, and we can customize those, but those were some of the things that parents and staff members asked for that they visit often. We also pulled like analytics to see from our current website what are some pages that folks visit the most, so that's really how we built that out. Then it just gives you a breakdown of the site. So we have an event tab, we have a social media integration where it pulls tweets that the district tweet out. We have a news section, so it pulls news articles that we have posted on our news bureau site. We have the central link that we talked about that does follow you on the site. And then the last thing I will note before we really turn to the live site is we also launched an internal site for our staff. So Insight, Insight launched also on Saturday. So this is a much more improved experience for our staff members. So we have different tabs set up where they are able to find their information. So on their front page, we have some of the tiles that they visit most, like Power School, like their email, Workday, etc. And then on the district apps page, it has all of the apps that they need to use. So with that, we're going to turn to the live site. And as Mr. Gordon said, definitely would encourage you either to pull it up on your phone, so clevelandmetroschools.org, or pull it up on your laptop. So when you go on our main page, as we spoke about, we have two different ways. So if I'm a parent, I can click right here on the parent tab. We have a new link now where parents can update their contact information in real time, and the team updates it in the system. Then we have their apps broken down by student learning and by just resources. Towards the middle of the page, we have these tiles right here. So you see we have our CEO search tab. So that will kind of stay there, but we're able to change these out at any time just based on, you know, different events or activities coming up. Then we have our news and information, calendar, and then as we said, we have the social media feed. So with that, definitely would invite you to continue to, you know, play on the site. Definitely would, you know, any feedback you have for us would be great. Definitely as a team works to continue to upgrade the experience for all of our stakeholders as we get ready for the next phase out, which would be end of April. So with that, we'll open it up to any questions from the board.
Can I just say I'd like there's sports with tonight's sporting event, or maybe yesterday's sporting event is right there. Because I think there was a time when Dr. Thomas and I were going to be going to the football game, and it had been canceled, and I didn't know that information we couldn't find, but we probably could have found it. I mean, in the future we'll be able to find it right there. That's great. I'm happy that the survey prompt popped up right away. So on Thursday, we can, anyone who goes on there, hopefully will go right to our survey for the superintendent search.
Yes.
And I see on the calendar that the CEO search community meetings have already been posted. Except the locations aren't included.
I also appreciate just the most used tabs. I forgot what you called it in the middle. Really important. Those are, I know, my go-tos a lot of the time when I go to the website for the district. I'm looking for either to make sure whether is this a day that my daughter has off or not, or transportation, or just those are my go-tos, and now I don't need to go hunting for them.
Okay. Yes.
So who looks at the data analytics to see which pages are used most frequently?
So Mike Goodall, our webmaster, and then we've had a project manager team that's been part of it. So that definitely helped us, you know, with the central links, and then definitely how we organize the staff, student, and parent landing pages. So, you know, that definitely impacted, you know, which pages we needed to do more of a refresh on, you know, what are some content that folks need readily available for them. So that's something we continue just to look at as like says we get ready for the next big phase out end of April. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you, Dr. Buddy. We're really excited about the new site, the new mobile experience, the more accessible information, and you will see a lot of other news coming as we go into phase 2 of the development. I'm glad you noticed the CEO search pop-up. We did ask the team to make sure that that just stays a standard pop-up throughout the month of January so that people have to actively click through or click into the CEO search. So far, just in analytics, 2,400 unique people have contacted the CEO search page, so we are getting traction on that analytic as well. So really good news there as we move forward. A few information items for the board. I wanted to share that recently the Cleveland Transformation Alliance has released their 2002 public report, and as you know, each time these kinds of reports come out, I try to make sure that you have your own copies of them. So I brought them for you today. We also share them with our senior leadership team and with our school leaders, our principals, so that they are aware of community reports on the work of education in the district. This is a 10-year review of the Cleveland Plan, so it really takes a retrospective look, kind of looks at where we are coming out of the pandemic, and then starts to signal where the community plans to go in support of the district and our other education organizations across the city. So we'd really encourage board members to take a look at this report when you have the opportunity to do so. It is also second semester already, which is really hard to believe, and with second semester comes graduations, and so we have for you the graduation schedule, and starting next week I'm going to start pestering you to sign up for your graduations. We have been able to successfully spread these out so that most of them do not overlap. It's not 100%, but most of them do not overlap. And we have partnered with Playhouse Square, the Maltz Performing Arts Center, Severance Concert Hall, John Marshall, which we've used in the past, Cleveland State University's Wolstein Center, and actually our very unique one at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport for Davis, but so that our young people really have the very best for their graduation ceremonies, which will be here before you know it. So I wanted to get this in your hands today. We'll be posting this on the new website shortly, and encourage board members when the sign out comes out next week to select those that you're able to attend and perhaps help certify the classes for. Also, a large number of current events are coming our way, so I tried something different this time and pulled the calendar out for you just so you have it hopefully a little more handily. It'll also translate to what you're seeing on the website. A few things that I would highlight. Starting yesterday, our enrollment office, in partnership with the Cleveland Public Libraries, has begun offering drop-in enrollment events. These are events at the Carnegie West branch, the Huff branch, and the South Brooklyn branch, where families can come and get assistance in enrolling in our high schools. High school enrollment window will be closing shortly, and we wanted to create these opportunities. We also created remote opportunities or Zoom opportunities so that families can get office hour support there as well. So they were yesterday, today, tomorrow, and Thursday, 2 on the east side, 2 on the west side, and this is a new effort to make enrollment even more accessible for our families. As a reminder, all facilities are closed next Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That being said, there are lots of community events that many of us will be participating in, so I look forward to seeing many of us out and about and celebrating Dr. King and his legacy. As the chair mentioned, there are 3 community gatherings scheduled next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They are all from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be free food and free childcare, as well as simultaneous translation services and sign language interpreter services for those who need it. They are breakout sessions to give feedback to the Alma Advisory Group on what our community would like considered as the board begins the search for the next CEO. There are also, again, remote meeting versions that are fully participatory. We'll have breakout sessions as well. You can access and sign up for those on the CMSD CEO search website, clevelandmetroschools.org/CEO search. And those do need to be pre-registered because we want to make sure we have a secure Zoom environment where we don't have Zoom bombs. The public ones are not pre-registered. People can walk in the day of and participate. We want it to be fully accessible. And as the chair mentioned, also a survey to the community will open on this Thursday, and as people are exiting this evening, the flyer with the QR code for the survey and for the Zoom meetings, as well as the 3 community meetings, are located on the table for those who would like to grab them and have them available. On Monday, January 23rd, I wanted to lift up that this will be the 23rd annual Greater Cleveland Sports Awards, and at this award ceremony, Ted Ginn Sr. will be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award presented by Union Home Mortgage. And of course, Coach Ginn has long led Glenville High School, including our most recent playoff victory, the first for the district since the playoffs were actually created by OHSAA in the 1970s. Our next meeting together is Tuesday, January 26th. That will be at the John Hay campus. Also on that day is the high school and K-8 chess tournament and the Senate Bowling Championship, so if you have an opportunity to be out and about. And then shortly right behind that is the 2023 National Signing Day for our student athletes. That will be at East Professional Center. It's currently scheduled at noon, but we are looking at maybe making it a little earlier to make it more press friendly so that we get more media contact. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Lots of other things going on. The last thing on the list that I'll share today is the Friday, February 3rd from 5 to 8 o'clock p.m. That will be the VIP grand opening of the new executive grill at East Technical High School. So board members, please mark your calendars. And then that following Monday will be the public opening of the grill as well. And then finally, in your media package, you have a large number of items that I'll point out. Much of the media work over the last couple weeks has been around the CEO search, so you'll see copies of ads and flyers and also pieces we're using for social media. You'll see the already graphically designed reminders of the upcoming meetings that will start to go out, including a this week reminder and a tonight reminder for each of the public gatherings. You will see information about the CEO search survey, which starts on the 12th, and we'll have a link on the website to that. And again, already at your seat, you have this flyer, which has the community meetings, the Zoom registration, and the QR code link to the survey. And if you go to the survey link right now, it says, "Thank you for visiting. Please return on January 12th when the survey opens." So it is active and working now. You will also see our updated Empower CMSD. This is our digital connectivity effort to provide digital literacy, software, devices, and subsidized internet for our kids and our families. Chair Bingham was able to be with us at the commencement exercise where we certified the graduation, and we're able to give our graduating seniors a laptop on their way out the door. This is part of our Digital Equity and Empower CMSD effort, and so really excited to continue that work. You'll also see graphics that we're announcing our new CMSD website, which is now out and about. The spring graduation schedule I already mentioned, and also the Executive Grill VIP event. On the left, you have links that have been covered over the past couple of weeks, and you also have our top social media post demographic data, and then links to stories that were in the news, including, again, Cleveland's Promise, which features Elmira, and also the 1 million book campaign launched by Mayor Bibb, the Cleveland Public Libraries, the district, and other partners right before the winter holidays. So lots of stuff going on as always, and I will conclude my report there and pause for any questions. Get my things back in here.
Next, the board will consider the adoption tonight of one resolution, 6.01. Get ready, Mr. Stockdale. The chair will now, not yet. The chair will now entertain a motion to adopt resolution 6.01, adopting a schedule of regular meetings and rules regarding notice of special and regular board meetings for calendar year 2023.
So moved.
Thank you. Since this is the board's organization meeting for 2023, we are required under state law to adopt this resolution establishing our schedule of regular board meetings for the 2023 calendar year and our rules for providing notice to the public of our meetings. Under this resolution, the board will continue to meet twice each month, usually on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. Typically, the first meeting of each month will be a work session, usually held at a school, and devoted primarily to information gathering, discussion, and deliberation on issues or topics for future board business meetings. The second meeting of each month will be a business meeting held in a school and concerned primarily with the consideration of and voting on board resolutions. The board, of course, reserves the right to vote on some resolutions at our board work sessions when it is prudent to do so. And as needed, the board will continue to hold special meetings. All of these meetings will be open to the public and will be properly noticed, consistent with the Ohio Open Meetings Law. At our monthly business meetings, the board will provide an opportunity for public participation for interested citizens. On the occasion when the board may need to change either the date or location of a board meeting, we will provide ample notice for the public. Are there any questions or discussion from board members about this particular resolution? Seeing none, Mr. Gordon, would you like to make any comment about this resolution?
No comment, ma'am. I'm looking forward to adopting another year and getting the year off to a start.
I have a question.
Please.
I'm looking at the May dates, and I thought we did an east-west thing. And I noticed
Every month?
First meeting on the east side, second meeting on the west side.
I don't think that, if you look through the dates and the locations, that is
We
not
don't do that
necessarily
anymore.
the
There are
case.
2 meetings back to back on West 140th Street. Did you have some influence in that?
I had nothing to do with it whatsoever, although I don't object to the
I'm sure you don't
concept
object.
personally. But I hope that also means that there are back-to-back meetings on the east side on occasion, too.
I haven't seen that yet, but okay, thanks.
I actually will make one comment, though, now that you said that, Dr. Thomas. One of the decisions that the administration and Mr. Bertzloff recommended to the board leadership, and they did accept, is to not return to the work session being at 11:11, but to continue to have all of the meetings out in our schools.
Oh.
So I do want to name that as a change in
Yeah.
procedure compared to the past.
Yes, Mrs. Link?
Yes, and I was looking this over because I put it all on my calendar already, and it all is matching up to something I've already seen. The one thing that I would kind of caution on is as we get closer and closer to the superintendent decision, we may need bigger schools. And a lot of these are kind of small and not big parking lots, I noticed. So I think we should just be alert to that and maybe make the switches as soon as we can if we make that decision.
Good point. Thank you for that. And before we vote on the resolution, we can allow tonight for public participation for up to 3 minutes for anyone who wishes to speak exclusively on the specific resolution adopting the schedule of board meetings. Okay, seeing no one come forward. Are you ready, Mr. Stockdale?
Yep.
Mr. Stockdale, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Bingham?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Ms. Dempsey?
Yes.
Ms. Hudnall? Ms. Link?
Yes.
Dr. Sridhar?
Yes.
Dr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Valdez?
Yes.
The motion passes with 8 votes.
Thank you, Mr. Stockdale. Well done. Continuing forward, this evening we have 10 resolutions in the areas of finance, operations, and talent that will be presented to the board for discussion only. We will be asked to consider the adoption of these resolutions at our January 24th board business meeting. And with that, Mr. Gordon, I turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you. Resolution 7.01 is a resolution authorizing an amendment to the fiscal year 2023 general fund appropriation measure. Just a reminder in layman's terms, appropriation measure means budget. From time to time during the year, we come back to the board to amend the budget to reflect financial activity as it's happening in real time and expected to happen for the remainder of the year. This adjustment is based on the 5-year forecast that the board adopted in November and what we anticipate will happen both in revenue and in expenditures. We're requesting an increase in expenditures of approximately $31.4 million, and we are anticipating a revenue increase of nearly $39 million, which means we'll see a $6.9 million revenue over expenditure in the forecast. Once approved, the finance team will complete the proper filings with the county auditor's office to ensure that the CMSD is in compliance with Ohio revised code statutes. And I'll pause for any questions from the board. Okay. Thank you. Resolution 7.02 is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission and authorizing the CEO to spend the funds in accordance with the terms and conditions of the grants. This is with this resolution, the board will be accepting a grant authorizing the CEO to spend grant funds from the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission in the amount of $2.4 million to enhance safety and security in CMSD schools. Each awarded school is listed in Exhibit A and was awarded the maximum $100,000, and this is the second round of schools that have received this award. Last January, the district submitted all schools for the school safety grant, including quotes and vulnerability assessments. And while we were rejected in the initial award, we did have 34 schools awarded in second review for a total of $1.6 million as well. For this most recent round, each school is eligible for $100,000. We submitted 83 applications and were awarded last January 24 schools listed in the exhibit. This brings us to a total of 58 schools, and we are anticipating with Governor DeWine's signing the omnibus bill that we will be in line for those additional applications as well. The resources are tailored to each school, but the kinds of things that we will be investing are upgrading indoor and outdoor cameras, adding battery backup systems so that when the electricity is down, the security system does not go down, improving the networking infrastructure that's required to provide internal and external connectivity, installing hardware, adding 3-year licenses for camera and networking software, and adding door security locks, lighting for parking lots, and in 42 of the buildings, modernizing metal detectors, taking the old ones we've had since literally 2012, the old boxes out, and putting in the more discrete sticks that are also easier to pass through because they can tell cell phones and things, and so you don't have to take as much out of your pockets and that sort of thing. So this modernization is really exciting. We're proud of these grants, and again, expect to be awarded in round 3 as well now that the omnibus bill has passed. And I'll pause for any questions or comments here. Resolution 7.03 authorizes the acceptance of gifts and grants from Patricia, I believe it's Suchi, Battelle Memorial Institute, CareSource, Charities Aid Foundation America, Microsoft Corporation, Montessori Development Partners, NASA Glenn Research Center, St. Luke's Foundation of Cleveland, and Teach for America, Inc., and authorizing the CEO to spend the funds in accordance with the terms and conditions of the grants. This is a number of grants that I'll move through. From Patricia Suchi, a gift in the amount of $3,000 to support Project ACT, which supports our homeless and foster youth. From Battelle Memorial Institute, a grant in the amount of $10,000 to help foster growth of the Ohio STEM Learning Network at Marion Sterling School and Orchard STEM School. From CareSource, a gift in the amount of $3,000 to support the Alcott Bucks initiative at Louisa May Alcott. That's a positive behavior incentive program at the school. From Charities Aid Foundation America, a gift in the amount of $9,750 to support programming at Kenneth Clements. From Microsoft Corporation, an in-kind donation of $100,000 to obtain migration and deployment services that enhance the benefits of Microsoft technology in the district's tech environment. From Montessori Development Partners, a grant in the amount of $91,000 to support the development and launch of the Elementary Montessori Teacher Residency with the goal to support high-fidelity Montessori instruction at Stonebrook White Montessori Campus and Tremont Montessori Campus as part of CMSD's portfolio strategy. Montessori Development Partnerships has been the fundraising partner for Stonebrook prior to them becoming our school. We're really excited about this particular partnership because it's the first local Montessori training residency where we're not sending people across the country to get Montessori trained. So really excited about this particular partnership. From NASA Glenn Research Center, 3 gifts, each in the amount of $3,000 to support participation in the first Buckeye Regional Robotics Competition. That's for Davis Aerospace and Maritime High School, John Marshall School of Information Technology, and for the MC² STEM High School at the Great Lakes Science Center. And I do want to remind the board and community, in case you didn't see the most recent article, that a Cleveland.com article about our Science Center students, robotics, where the students have made now at least 3 prosthetic arms for young people locally and across the globe, was picked up by MSN News nationally just last week. From the St. Luke's Foundation of Cleveland, a grant in the amount of $10,000 to A.J. Rickoff to support project-based learning, which is designed to be implemented on college campuses. And from Teach for America Incorporated, a grant in the amount of $10,000 to support a one-year program designed to expand and increase computer science offerings at John Marshall Information Technologies. This is the grant that we removed from the docket last time because we had failed to put the appendix in, so we've brought it back to you as we committed to do at the December meeting. And I will pause for any questions on these.
Mr. Gordon, how did Patricia Succi come to our attention?
I do not know, Dr. Thomas, but I will find out and get back to you.
I mean, it's
Let
a
me just
very
take a minute.
nice gift.
It is.
It is a nice gift.
And I wonder if she's got some, personal interest in homeless kids or something.
Yeah, let me find out.
And I think it's Kenneth Clement, not Kenneth Clement.
It is spelled wrong in your notes. It is
Yeah.
Kenneth Clement.
Great, thanks.
And it'll be corrected before the next meeting.
Okay.
Let me just get this note down, please. Okay. All right. Resolution 8.01 is a resolution amending the previously authorized maximum purchase price for 6 school nutrition vehicles by increasing the amount for these vehicles to a not-to-exceed amount of $925,000. Last February, the Operations Division sought funding to update and replace vehicles within 4 departments, including school nutrition. At that time, we had received a quote from Valley Ford Truck of $137,895 per truck, or $827,370 total. For the 6 trucks, we requested a not to exceed amount of $900,000. In April, we issued the purchase order for those trucks. Despite our projections, the inflation has projected that costs will be increased, and so we are asking this additional increase of $25,000 to a not to exceed $925,000 to meet the expected increase in the inflationary costs for these vehicles. Resolution 9.01 through 9.03 are your typical monthly talent resolutions. 9.01 authorizes the employment of teaching, non-teaching, and school-based administrative staff, and you will see that this is a recommendation for 55 new hires, including 33 in the Cleveland Teachers Union, 3 more environmental service specialists, 4 more lunchroom attendants, an additional preschool monitor, additional school secretary, and then a number of non-bargaining employees as well. Resolution 9.02 authorizes the reclassification of employees. These are transfers within the organization. Current employees accepting new roles, that's 22 employees broken down again by CTU. Local 1199, 2 security officers that moved from part-time to full-time, 3 bus drivers, 1 assistant custodian, and again a couple of non-bargaining employees outlined in your exhibit. 9.03 authorizes retirements, resignations, and other separations. This is 79 separations. I would remind the board again that separations are reflected in the month that they are submitted, but are a combination of people who are leaving the organization immediately and people who are leaving the organization at the end of the school year. And you can see that the year-to-date certificated is 305 compared to 301 last year, so almost even. Classified staff is only 155 compared to 234, so great improvement there. School-based administration is 18 compared to 11, so a slight increase there. And here we're seeing members of our administrative team being encouraged, being offered jobs like area superintendents and things of that nature, which has contributed a little bit to those numbers. Resolution 9.04 is not a monthly typical resolution. This is a resolution authorizing the CEO to enter into contracts for the procurement of stop-loss insurance for the period of January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2023 in an amount not to exceed $4,525,620. This is our annual renewal of our stop-loss insurance related to our medical and prescription insurance. Because we operate under a self-funded insurance plan, This insurance secures a $400,000 stop loss for individuals covered by the plan, with all expenditures above that amount assumed by the insurance company instead of out of our plan. It's the same level as the prior year. We're not asking for any change in it, and the proposed coverage levels and associated rates were reviewed by the district in partnership with Oswald Companies, which is our new healthcare broker. A maximum level of expenditure for this coverage reflects $4,525,620, the amount of the resolution, cost reflecting a rate of $68.57 per employee per month. This is a 24.5% increase from 2022 and a reflection of claims and economic factors in the health coverage. And this is where we are beginning to see the pandemic costs that were kind of just hanging out there now starting to be billed back to insurance companies. I also want to note, and Chair Bingham pointed out earlier, that typically these resolutions are in the finance section and not the talent section. That's a great catch, and so when we prepare the business docket, we will move it up into the finance section. And I'll pause for any questions on this resolution. Okay, resolution 9.05 is also not a typical resolution, but this is part of our ongoing efforts to fill vacancies in this labor market. So this is a resolution seeking authorization for the payment of supplemental earned compensation to substitute secretaries to promote the acceptance of jobs across 12 school-based secretary vacancies and day-to-day assignments where we need substitute secretaries. We are recommending a bonus structure per quarter that if a substitute secretary works 80% of the available days, they would receive a $250 bonus, 90% of available days a $500 bonus, and 100% of the days a $750 bonus. We project the maximum cost of this would be $15,000, so a fairly small amount, but we think it'll make us more competitive because substitutes don't work for a single organization. They're sought by multiple organizations. We think this bonus can help us be more competitive. With an MOU through the Cleveland Teachers Union, we've also implemented a substitute teacher and substitute paraprofessional structure that is very similar because, again, our substitutes can work in many different places, and we've already seen an uptake in the job taking, so we think this can help us to solve a short-term need in this current labor market. I'll pause for any questions here. Finally, Resolution 9.06 is a resolution authorizing the issuance of limited contracts for differential positions and the payment of additional earned compensation. This is your monthly resolution. This is assistant coaches for our spring sports now, basketball, boys and girls basketball, bowling, our esports, our volleyball. Our newspaper advisors are in here, social emotional learning coordinators, test coordinators, yearbook advisors, and cheerleader advisors. Again, I'll pause for any questions here. Madam Chair, that concludes the resolutions for discussion for this work session.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Is there any old business or any new business to come before the board? It doesn't appear so. I don't know if she's listening. I wanted to take a moment to wish fellow board member Sarah Ellicott a very happy birthday. She was not able to be here in person today, but I do think she may be listening on the live stream. The next regular board meeting will be a board business meeting on Tuesday, January 24th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. at John Hay High School, 2075 Stokes Boulevard. The chair will now entertain a motion. Get ready, Mr. Stockdale. The chair will now entertain a motion that the board enter into executive session for the purposes of considering the employment of public employees, preparing for negotiations with public employees, concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment, and conferring with attorneys concerning disputes involving the Board of Education that are the subject of pending or imminent court action.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Mr. Stockdale, could you please call the roll on this motion?
Ms. Bingham?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Ms. Dempsey?
Yes.
Ms. Hudnall?
Yes.
Ms. Link?
Yes.
Dr. Sridhar?
Yes.
Dr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Valdez?
Yes.
The motion's passed with 8 votes.
You're getting the hang of this. So the board will now move into executive session. Following executive session, we will return to this room to briefly conduct further business. Thank you, everybody.
We got a big goal, everybody. We got to read 1 million books this year. Can we do it? Can we do it?
Today we are kicking off a year-long initiative called Cleveland Reads. This is the kickoff event. It's a partnership between CMSD, the Cleveland Teachers Union, the City of Cleveland, the Cleveland Public Library, and at least 30 other community partners. And our goal over the course of 2023 is to get Clevelanders to read 1 million books and or read 1 million minutes throughout the course of the year.
Over 60% of our adults still don't have the literacy skills they need. That's a major problem for our city. And so this campaign is all about talking about the importance of literacy and the importance of reading in our community. Literacy is critical. I remember as a young child, my mom encouraging me to read so I could have the early start I needed to be successful in school. And I have a lot of books at home, own personal library, so it's so important that everyone's reading all across the city.
What we're doing is creating a lot of joy around education. And that starts with joy about reading books. Books that kids see themselves in, diverse titles, diverse activities. You know, some kids love music, some kids love sports, some kids love Star Wars. And what we want to do is to have a nation of joyful and confident readers. And that starts with kids loving to read books. So what the AFT is doing, in conjunction with First Book, is we created this campaign called Reading Opens the World. And last December, we said we were gonna give out 1 million books. And we did. And this December, we said we're gonna give out another 1 million books. And that first stop is in Cleveland, joining up with the Cleveland school system and the city of Cleveland, because the mayor has the same idea. 1 million books to Cleveland, 1 million minutes reading.
So reading is so important for our community because it's the building block from which education works, right? The great thing about reading is the fact that if it's done early, it stays with you and children progress in school. Statistics all tell us that if you read at 3rd grade level, you are 3 times as likely to graduate.
When students lack literacy skills, they turn into adults who lack life skills. It really holds them back. So it's so important for our students, our children, the members of our community to be able to read and understand so that they can fill out job applications, they can read a menu, they can get around, they can do all of those life activities that are so necessary for being successful.
Read and you will succeed, right? That's the message I want all of our community members and especially our youngest children to understand. When you read, you succeed, and join us in taking the challenge this year. 1 million reads, Cleveland Reads.
They can go to clevelandreads.com and we will be listing there all the ways that they can sign up on Bookstack to log their books and log their minutes. It will have connections to different events that will be happening throughout the course of the year, whether it's an official Cleveland Reads event or it's one of our community partners sponsoring events. We will be having other book distributions throughout the course of the year, and Cleveland Teachers Union will definitely ensure that we're getting books into the hands of our students.
Make sure that you tell your children and your family, your neighbors, people at your church or synagogue that reading is critical and that knowledge is power, and it's important that we all play a role in this campaign to ensure everyone has the skills they need to compete.
we're going to make an official offer to you to play football at our wonderful, fine institution down in Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that.
Words this football player has been wanting to hear. Kienis Boulware, a defensive coordinator and recruiter for Alabama A&M University, offered Desmond a scholarship to play college ball. Desmond was overwhelmed by the offer, but knows this day didn't come easy.
I started focusing more on school. My grades started to elevate. I started focusing on football, and my skill set started to come.
3.3 GPA and a 1020 right now SAT score. You know, if you've done more than your homework, you've actually positioned yourself to go to any college you want to.
CMSD on 3, CMSD on 3, 1, 2, 3, CMSD!
Desmond, a senior at John Marshall School of Civic and Business Leadership, joined nearly 100 players from CMSD and surrounding districts to participate in the second HBCU football combine hosted by the Cynic Athletic League. The players performed a series of drills to showcase their skills at the Word Church Sporting Complex earlier this month before recruiters. Senate Athletic League Commissioner Desiree Powell says she started this combine to give all students access.
They may have been on a team that was 1-9, and a recruiter may not go see a team that's 1-9, but they have talent on that 1-9 team. And I want them to know that they have a chance to be seen. They have a chance for their talent to be brought out. And I want that opportunity for every kid.
Powell wanted students and their families to know it takes more than just talent to be recruited on the collegiate level, but also grades and image. The Combine also has a panel discussion for families to understand the entire process. Cardell Jones, a former NFL, Ohio State University, and Glenville High School quarterback, talked about why it is important for players to protect their image.
And then a lot of things are happening on social media. I tell our guys all the time, be very cautious about what you post. It's never deleted.
Desmond says he is grateful for the scholarship offer and plans to visit several other colleges before picking which school he plans to attend in the fall.
It's really just a journey, and I feel real thankful about that.
You get more with the CMSD experience. Now, get more online. Our new district website at clevelandmetroschools.org has arrived. We heard you. After gathering feedback from our focus groups, surveys, and our school community, we have taken the first steps in creating a site that will meet your needs. We will be releasing additional features over the next several months to give you even more. More content that is organized by user, giving students, parents, and staff faster access to the information that is relevant to them. More features that give our homepage a robust upgrade. Easier to find quick links provide instant access to our most popular content, such as enrollment, breakfast and lunch menus, and transportation. There's also an events section that offers a quick glance at our upcoming calendar and a spot to check out our latest news and information. more options, and simpler ways to quickly locate what you've been looking for. Our new mobile responsive design gives you the perfect navigational experience on any device. Visit our new site today and look for more updates and enhancements over the coming months.
We got a big goal, everybody. We got to read 1 million books this year. Can we do it? Can we do it?
Today we are kicking off a year-long initiative called Cleveland Reads. This is the kickoff event. It's a partnership between CMSD, the Cleveland Teachers Union, the City of Cleveland, the Cleveland Public Library, and at least 30 other community partners. And our goal over the course of 2023 is to get Clevelanders to read 1 million books and or read 1 million minutes throughout the course of the year.
Over 60% of our adults still don't have the literacy skills they need. That's a major problem for our city. And so this campaign is all about talking about the importance of literacy and the importance of reading in our community. Literacy is critical. I remember as a young child, my mom encouraging me to read so I could have the early start I needed to be successful in school. And I have a lot of books at home, own personal library, so it's so important that everyone's reading all across the city.
What we're doing is creating a lot of joy around education. And that starts with joy about reading books. Books that kids see themselves in, diverse titles, diverse activities. You know, some kids love music, some kids love sports, some kids love Star Wars. And what we want to do is to have a nation of joyful and confident readers. And that starts with kids loving to read books. So what the AFT is doing in conjunction with First Book is we created this campaign called Reading Opens the World. And last December, we said we were gonna give out 1 million books. And we did. And this December, we said we're gonna give out another 1 million books. And that first stop is in Cleveland, joining up with the Cleveland school system and the city of Cleveland, because the mayor has the same idea. 1 million books to Cleveland, 1 million minutes reading.
So reading is so important for our community because it's the building block from which education works, right? The great thing about reading is the fact that if it's done early, it stays with you and children progress in school. Statistics all tell us that if you read at 3rd grade level, you are 3 times as likely to graduate.
When students lack literacy skills, they turn into adults who lack life skills. It really holds them back. So it's so important for our students, our children, the members of our community to be able to read and understand so that they can fill out job applications, they can read a menu, they can get around, they can do all of those life activities that are so necessary for being successful.
Read and you will succeed, right? That's the message I want all of our community members and especially our youngest children to understand. When you read, you succeed, and join us in taking the challenge this year. 1 million reads, Cleveland Reads.
They can go to clevelandreads.com and we will be listing there all the ways that they can sign up on Bookstack to log their books and log their minutes. It will have connections to different events that will be happening throughout the course of the year, whether it's an official Cleveland Reads event or it's one of our community partners sponsoring events. We will be having other book distributions throughout the course of the year, and Cleveland Teachers Union will definitely ensure that we're getting books into the hands of our students.
Make sure that you tell your children and your family, your neighbors, people at your church or synagogue that reading is critical and that knowledge is power. And it's important that we all play a role in this campaign to ensure everyone has the skills they need to compete.
We're going to make an official offer to you to play football at our wonderful fine institution down in Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that.
Words this football player has been wanting to hear. Kienis Boulware, a defensive coordinator and recruiter for Alabama A&M University, offered Desmond a scholarship to play college ball. Desmond was overwhelmed by the offer, but knows this day didn't come easy.
I started focusing more on school. My grades started to elevate. I started focusing on football, and my skill set started to come.
3.3 GPA and a 1020 right now SAT score. You know, if you've done more than your homework, you've actually positioned yourself to go to any college you want to.
CMSD on 3, CMSD on 3, 1, 2, 3, CMSD!
Desmond, a senior at John Marshall School of Civic and Business Leadership, joined nearly 100 players from CMSD and surrounding districts to participate in the second HBCU football combine hosted by the Cynic Athletic League. The players performed a series of drills to showcase their skills at the Word Church Sporting Complex earlier this month before recruiters. Senate Athletic League Commissioner Desiree Powell says she started this combine to give all students access.
They may have been on a team that was 1-9, and a recruiter may not go see a team that's 1-9, but they have talent on that 1-9 team. And I want them to know that they have a chance to be seen. They have a chance for their talent to be brought out. And I want that opportunity for every kid.
Powell wanted students and their families to know it takes more than just talent to be recruited on the collegiate level, but also grades and image. The Combine also has a panel discussion for families to understand the entire process. Cardell Jones, a former NFL, Ohio State University, and Glenville High School quarterback, talked about why it is important for players to protect their image.
And then a lot of things are happening on social media. I tell our guys all the time, be very cautious about what you post. It's never deleted.
Desmond says he is grateful for the scholarship offer and plans to visit several other colleges before picking which school he plans to attend in the fall.
It's really just a journey, and I feel real thankful about that.
You get more with the CMSD experience. Now, get more online. Our new district website at clevelandmetroschools.org has arrived. We heard you. After gathering feedback from our focus groups, surveys, and our school community, we have taken the first steps in creating a site that will meet your needs. We will be releasing additional features over the next several months to give you even more. More content that is organized by user, giving students, parents, and staff faster access to the information that is relevant to them.
More features that give our homepage a robust upgrade. Easier to find quick links provide instant access to our most popular content, such as enrollment, breakfast and lunch menus, and transportation. There's also an events section that offers a quick glance at our upcoming calendar and a spot to check out our latest news and information.
More options and simpler ways to quickly locate what you've been looking for. Our new mobile responsive design gives you the perfect navigational experience on any device. Visit our new site today and look for more updates and enhancements over the coming months.
We got a big goal, everybody. We got to read 1 million books this year. Can we do it? Can we do it?
Today we are kicking off a year-long initiative called Cleveland Reads. This is the kickoff event. It's a partnership between CMSD, the Cleveland Teachers Union, the City of Cleveland, the Cleveland Public Library, and at least 30 other community partners. And our goal over the course of 2023 is to get Clevelanders to read 1 million books and/or read 1 million minutes throughout the course of the year.
Over 60% of our adults still don't have the literacy skills they need. That's a major problem for our city. And so this campaign is all about talking about the importance of literacy and the importance of reading in our community. Literacy is critical. I remember as a young child, my mom encouraging me to read so I can have the early start I needed to be successful in school. And I have a lot of books at home, own personal library, so it's so important that everyone's reading all across the city.
What we're doing is creating a lot of joy around education. And that starts with joy about reading books. Books that kids see themselves in, diverse titles, diverse activities. You know, some kids love music, some kids love sports, some kids love Star Wars. And what we want to do is to have a nation of joyful and confident readers. And that starts with kids loving to read books. So what the AFT is doing in conjunction with First Book is we created this campaign called Reading Opens the World. And last December, we said we were gonna give out 1 million books. And we did. And this December, we said we're gonna give out another 1 million books. And that first stop is in Cleveland, joining up with the Cleveland school system and the city of Cleveland, because the mayor has the same idea. 1 million books to Cleveland, 1 million minutes reading.
So reading is so important for our community because it's the building block from which education works, right? The great thing about reading is the fact that if it's done early, it stays with you and children progress in school. Statistics all tell us that if you read at 3rd grade level, you are 3 times as likely to graduate.
When students lack literacy skills, they turn into adults who lack life skills. It really holds them back. So it's so important for our students, our children, the members of our community to be able to read and understand so that they can fill out job applications, they can read a menu, they can get around, they can do all of those life activities that are so necessary for being successful.
Read and you will succeed, right? That's the message I want all of our community members and especially our youngest children to understand. When you read, you succeed, and join us in taking the challenge this year. 1 million reads, Cleveland reads.
They can go to clevelandreads.com, and we will be listing there all the ways that they can sign up on Bookstack to log their books and log their minutes. It will have connections to different events that will be happening throughout the course of the year, whether it's an official Cleveland Reads event or it's one of our community partners sponsoring events. We will be having other book distributions throughout the course of the year, and Cleveland Teachers Union will definitely ensure that we're getting books into the hands of our students.
Make sure that you tell your children and your family, your neighbors, people at your church or synagogue that reading is critical and that knowledge is power. And it's important that we all play a role in this campaign to ensure everyone has the skills they need to compete.
We're going to make an official offer to you to play football at our wonderful fine institution down in Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that.
Words this football player has been wanting to hear. Kienis Boulware, a defensive coordinator and recruiter for Alabama A&M University, offered Desmond a scholarship to play college ball. Desmond was overwhelmed by the offer, but knows this day didn't come easy.
I started focusing more on school. My grades started to elevate. I started focusing on football, and my skill set started to come.
3.3 GPA and a 1020 right now SAT score. You know, if you've done more than your homework, you've actually positioned yourself to go to any college you want to.
CMSD on 3, CMSD on 3, 1, 2, 3, CMSD!
Desmond, a senior at John Marshall School of Civic and Business Leadership, joined nearly 100 players from CMSD and surrounding districts to participate in the second HBCU football combine hosted by the Cynic Athletic League. The players performed a series of drills to showcase their skills at the Word Church Sporting Complex earlier this month before recruiters. Senate Athletic League Commissioner Desiree Powell says she started this combine to give all students access.
They may have been on a team that was 1-9, and a recruiter may not go see a team that's 1-9, but they have talent on that 1-9 team. And I want them to know that they have a chance to be seen. They have a chance for their talent to be brought out. And I want that opportunity for every kid.
Powell wanted students and their families to know it takes more than just talent to be recruited on the collegiate level, but also grades and image. The Combine also has a panel discussion for families to understand the entire process. Cardell Jones, a former NFL, Ohio State University, and Glenville High School quarterback, talked about why it is important for players to protect their image.
And then a lot of things are happening on social media. I tell our guys all the time, be very cautious about what you post. It's never deleted.
Desmond says he is grateful for the scholarship offer and plans to visit several other colleges before picking which school he plans to attend in the fall.
It's really just a journey, and I feel real thankful about that.
You get more.
We have to find out which doors go out to the parking lot, so we don't have to walk all the way around.
The lot, the door we want to go out is over there by where we were. But this is
I'm lazy.
Are you?
Yeah.
We are now back in public session. Let's see. The chair will now entertain a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the suspension of a teaching employee, Lori Sims.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gordon?
Thank you. This is a recommendation for a 10-day suspension for violation of district policies, procedures, and rules.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Mr. Stockdale, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Bingham?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Ms. Dempsey? Ms. Dempsey?
She has departed.
Ms. Hudnall? Ms. Link?
Yes.
Dr. Sridhar?
Yes.
Dr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Valdez?
Yes.
The motion passes with 7 votes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stockdale. Is there any other new business to come before the board? As announced earlier, the next regular board meeting will be a board business meeting on Tuesday, January 24th at 6:30 p.m. at John Hay High School. The chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn this board work session.
So moved. Second.
Hearing no objection, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Good